What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Blazing Diplomacy. I am your host, Jonathan Shane. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, please do so. We are a new channel trying to blaze through all the crap to get to the truth of matters. Today, we're talking about something that no one else seems to be talking about. I'm pretty sure it happens to do with like Trump's assassination, Biden getting COVID, and the RNC going on, which I have thoughts of that. I want to wait until after the RNC is completely over to get a full recap. I know some people are like love the recaps every single day. I'd rather just do a full one because you're getting plenty of that content. Today, I want to talk about something that no one seems to be talking about, and that is Ukraine is blowing Crimea up. All right, guys. So, as I said, dude, Ukraine is like ripping through Crimea right now. So, as far as I can tell, they have done two bombings. They did a bombing on the 15th, and then they did one yesterday. They have launched missiles in the sea where there were travelers. Okay. And here's the kicker. And I want to make this short really quick. So, right here, the Atlantic Council, just to show y'all that I'm not talking out of my butt here. This is from the Atlantic Council. So, as you can see, Russia's retreat from Crimea makes a mockery of the West escalation fears. I have a lot to say about that. But just the idea that like Russia pulled out of Crimea and the West was like worried about escalation. But the thing is, like, here's a photo of the bomb. This is one of the bombs. Could you imagine? Russian citizens aren't complacent in all of Putin's ordeals, just like American citizens aren't always in favor. Like, I think of Vietnam War, and I think things like that. Like, we're not always in favor of what our government does. And neither, like, dude, like, they bombed near civilians. They bombed near civilians, right, wrong, or indifferent with the Ukraine war. Like, this is not okay. Okay. And yeah, they're winning the war at sea, as it says right here, winning the war at sea. Okay. And yes, technically, when Obama was in office, they took Crimea. But here's the problem. Here's the big issue with this. It's their war. They can do what they want, and we can give our opinions all day of whether Ukraine is escalating things in an unsavory manner, regardless of what Russia did, which was deplorable for sure. They're using American weapons. They're using American drones. They're using American missiles. Now, I'm not big, like, I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I do not want to like talk about World War III, a nuclear war. However, we are dumb to think that Putin is just going to let this slide. I don't know what he's thinking in his cabinet right now, in his chair. But the dude's a dog. Dictator, yes. Kills people that talk bad about him, yes, 100%. But the dude is a dog, okay? This is scary stuff. And we have to understand this. This is not being talked about. Now, is it not being talked about because they don't think Americans are going to have interest in it because we're desensitized? Is it not being talked about because we're using the RNC, Biden, and Trump as cover to not talk about this escalation in foreign policy? I don't know. You could lean a lot of different directions with that. Even some of my favorite conservative media outlets aren't talking about this. Neither are the liberal outlets. This is a problem. If this continues, this is the question we have to ask ourselves. And we do have to ask this question because unfortunately we have started, as a people, we have started to meddle in other people's affairs. I say we have begun to. We've always been dumb enough to do that. At what point does Russia decide that they're at war with the US? That's going to be the question. He hasn't declared that yet. That hasn't been a line that's been crossed. We're in a weird point in this country, people. We really need to think about that. We're really inundated with information about like liberal political movements and all this stuff that, yeah, like we can argue all day about like, abortion rights and gender rights and da 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 da. Our government uses that a lot to like keep us focused on like, really honestly, at the end of the day, there are issues that we need to deal with, but they're not as big as World War. They're not as big as some of the things that we're doing that no one's thinking about or talking about. So unfortunately, we have to think about this. At what point, what's going to be the thing that triggers Russia going, the US is at war with us? And they may already think that to a point, but this is such a scary escalation. The fact that Biden and here's the thing too. Speaking on Biden, guys, Biden has COVID, which I know COVID, woo, but like he's kind of like isolated right now at his privately owned residence due to COVID. And they're saying that he's going to be doing all of his stuff as commander in chief there at his private residence. But here's the problem. We know he's weak and frail. If you think that other world leaders are not watching these press conferences and watching these debates and seeing the weaknesses in Western culture, people that hate Western ideals and culture, you're crazy. Guys, we don't have a commander in chief right now. We do not have a commander in chief right now. If Vivek Ramaswamy said this, the next 5 months after the debate, he said the next 5 months are going to be really crucial, and he's not wrong. I don't just mean that from like a democracy American standpoint. I mean that in terms of like world order and foreign policy standpoint. We're in sketchy times right now, and I can't believe no one's talking about what's happened over the past week. Um, this is not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. Um, if this continues to escalate, something's gonna give. Something's gonna give, and it concerns me. It concerns me with the nuclear ready submarines that Russia had at at Cuba. Uh, we're allowing Ukraine to do this with our tech. It'd be different if Ukraine was just going in. Like even Germany. Germany is saying they're pulling out aid after this. They get it. Like this is not good. Like, and I understand Ukraine has a war to win, and they feel like someone came on their turf, and I don't want to get into Ukraine, whether they're right, wrong, or indifferent politically or whatever. That's not even the point. The point of this is that they are using American-made weaponry to attack Russia on Russian territory and soil at civilians, at civilians, or at least with civilians present. That's not okay. This is we've got to keep our eye on the ball. And I just want to make sure I haven't seen anybody talk about this. I have not seen a single video about this. So I'm making a video about this. I'd love to know your thoughts. Put it in the comment section below. I'll try to keep you updated. I'm watching it. I'm watching the RNC side again. I'll do a full recap on the RNC too. But like, I wanted to give you all this information because no one's talking about it. So let me know your thoughts. I want to hear comments. Again, if you haven't hit that like and subscribe button and you want some as unbiased as possible information on what's going on in the world, I'm here for it. I love you guys. I'll see y'all in the next one.